Get into our next conversation of the day right here, and it is a family check. We are going to be discussing on ways of raising the next generation. That is our topic of conversation right now, and I am pleased to be joined by two guests right here in studio, beginning with Reverend Elizabeth Obat. Reverend is an educator, a theologian, a trainer, and a conference speaker as well. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And right next to her we have Might. Might is a trainer, a mentor, and is also the CEO Pro Mentors Africa. Welcome to the program. Let's get into this conversation of the day. That is raising the next generation. When you talk about raising the next generation, just painting a picture, you know, of how that should be. Or let us first of all begin by comparing how the previous generations were raised, and by that I mean how our mothers were raised compared to now how this new generation is being raised. How can we compare the notes from the two?
I think for starters we must admit that there's a huge difference. There's a huge world of difference from the way I was raised and the way the young people are being raised now. Our parents were the generation that did not speak, and really they passed it on to us. The children were there to be seen and not to be heard. So parents' ideas, information was law, and it was never questioned. So it made the parents the final say, and children had no opportunity. So you did wrong, you were disciplined. You made mistakes, you were disciplined. Things of right and wrong were black and white. It was clear. This is what is expected of you, and if you do this, you will get discipline. And discipline was also severe, quite severe.
So that's what you can say is the difference between, you know, how we are raising the new generation now compared to back in the day.
Yes.
According to you, Might, maybe what you can also share the differences you feel are there, and also what do you feel we can borrow maybe from how children used to be raised back in the day?
Yeah, this is very interesting, yeah? Very interesting. But I think how our parents were raised, how I was raised before, to me it was very good. It made me to be who I am. Today I'm with the young people, I'm dealing with this society. I'm not saying this time is wrong, but a lot is needed. We need to borrow a lot from the old. We need to borrow a lot from our parents. There were things were set right. It is this, and you could follow. And I think our wazazi walikuwa wajanja sana kutuliko. Ukiangalia sana, no matter the technology and everything, some technology is good. On the other side, if it's not nurtured very well, it is distort parenting. So we need to up our game today. So kitambo it was easy. It moved well. The culture ilikuwa inaji-unfold. Vizuri sana. Siku hizi comparing the today baze nakumbuka madhangu angekuangalia hivi macho. Nilikuwa napika chapo. Non-verbal communication, sign. It was too perfectly toka maze.
Unarushiwa TV jicho you
jipange. Sasa mtu wangu unamwambia ati unamwangalia macho ingine akwambia ai mama unaniangaliaje? You see, I cannot say it's disobedience, but I think we have lost somewhere. And the way things are moving, if parenting doesn't change, is us as parents today don't change the methodology and the approach, then some things itakuwa changamoto. Think even about spirituality. Before I could join the church, you know, nilijua tu ndaenda church. Siku hizi una preach mazao na kucheki tu. Unajiongelesha unaona nika story ya jaba. So a lot is needed. But between the two, both of them are parenting, and even today there is parenting, but a lot is needed today.
You feel like more is needed to be, you know, added on to the kind of parenting that is happening right now.
Definitely.
And especially shida iko sisi wazazi sahi. Unajua tuko na breed ya kitambo na ya sasa tunadhania tutaleta hii ya kitambo kwa vijana today. Ai ni noma.
And you know, even in the political world, there've been conversations on how to bring dialogue, you know, and try and bridge that intergenerational gap, because there seems to be a really huge gap between, you know, the Gen Zs and the millennials and, you know, the Gen X and whatnot. Just what is missing? What would you say is amiss, and where did we get things wrong?
I think for me, one thing that stands out is the question of presence. Parents were present. Being raised up, I was raised up in Nairobi, grown and bred here, but my parents were present. I knew the schedule. Mom and dad left home with us to school, to work, and by 5, my dad was home. And he picked us along the way and brought us home. So we were all home. So our parents were present.
Yeah.
They took care of us. They were present to see what we were doing, right and wrong, and they were able to correct right in the nip before it grew up, before wrong behavior grew.
Yeah.
It was clipped. And the laws were clear. Now, matters of church, you could not discuss. We were put in the car, all of us, and we were taken to church. You like it, you don't, Sunday morning, up, you go to church. And I think that formed a very clear basis for us in terms of what is right, what is wrong, what's acceptable, and what's not acceptable. My mama was a teacher. She's since gone. But I tell you, like he's saying, Mom would say this is what should be done. And it was done. And she was there to train. She trained me how to cook, you know. She was not absent at all.
Yeah.
So those our parents were present. I think that is one of the things I find different with the now. The parents that we are now, we have so many extracurricular activities. After work, we still go to class. We are going to do extra courses. And by the time mommy comes home, most likely, the kids are asleep. Yeah, I remember a story that was said by a young child who told the mother, Mommy, why didn't you go to school when you were young? Because she's waiting every day. Mama is not coming. So this particular day, she stayed up. And she asked her mom, why didn't you go to school when you were young? So the issue of presence, I think we are not at home.
Yeah.
We are elsewhere and we are very busy looking for extra shilling, but also just doing many other things.
You know, the matter of presence that you've just brought, you brought forth, that's very true. Like nowadays, that presence and the attention is no longer there. It's not as much as it used to. But then again, can we really blame the new age parents on that, for that? You know, times have changed. The economy isn't, you know, looking so good. The parents are toiling and working so hard to ensure that their children get the best of the best in terms of education, a meal and whatnot, just to be able to provide the basic needs that they should provide. So how do we strike that balance? Because you can't say parents should stay at home so that they give attention to their children and whatnot. And it's kind of hard, you know, like I get where you're coming from and I totally understand. But then again, there's that side of things need to be done. Like things just need to happen. This parent needs to work maybe 2 or 3 jobs in order for them to provide the best for their children. So how do we strike that balance so that the presence is also not amiss in their children?
Yeah, let me tell you, I can add something what Pasi have said. Yeah? It was not, like me, my parents were not present. But there was community parenting also, in addition. My dad was in Nairobi, my mom was in Nanyuki. My dad could come late, but there was community parenting also. You could even be disciplined by your neighbor. So there was something, a collective parenting by the old time, collectively.
Yeah.
Kuna kitu ungefanya juu maneiba wafanye. Ungebaki kwa ploti, juu mimi niligrow ya dando, baki kwa ploti na watu wote wameenda church. There's a community parenting. So there was inclusivity on parenting. But there are so many things that I think we can borrow. And we cannot say today is wrong. And to me, I think the churches, organization, they need to focus more on the 21st parenting. To look about where is this, how do we synergize? Today, children are more informed because of technology.
Yeah.
But this information, some is extreme. We may say education and everything. And that's why I support the CBC, because it is taking us back. Pasi have said she was taught how to cook. Yeah. Today hakuna. Unajisort unaoadem alafu anakuambia mazee mimi siwezi pika. CBC is telling me that mtoi atapewa assignment and I have to cook with that kid for tomorrow. Yeah. So it's taking us, to me CBC is contributing also to concept of parenting. Na ndio unaona maparent wengi wanaudhika inachokesha because there's involvement. Yeah. We are going back to where we are. We are going back to where we lost it. And truly we lost it. Mimi nikiangalia watu wangu wazee because so busy moving up and down. Lakini mtu aidadi assignment yangu ni makie na jana nilifika late. So ananiforce mapema niamuke niangalie assignment vile alifanya. So it's taking me back. Yeah. And it's telling me back that no matter looking for money, no matter looking for these kids, I also need them.
So the word intention now comes in.
Yeah, it has to be
intentional.
It has to be intentional. Yeah. We need to appreciate the reality that even with the community parenting that Maichi is saying, the script was the same. The parents had the same values, the same ideas. Today, the values are different, depending on whose child you are. Some children are coming from very wealthy or very people who can access facilities, equipment, you know, the devices. Not all of us have the devices.
That's true.
And those who have the devices, sometimes those devices are a disadvantage because it has opened a whole world of information, a whole world of stuff that children are getting to learn of much earlier. You know, age appropriateness is not within the device cannot control age appropriateness. So you hear your child has picked up a certain behavior and it's not happening in your house and you're wondering, where did they get it from? Yeah. So it is device. It is also about unsupervised parenting. It's unsupervised. That script that was the same today is totally different. Yeah. The script is different in your house, it's different in the neighbors, it's different in the schools that our children go to. And some kids are ahead of others in terms of technology, and technology has opened a whole wide world.
And the schools have brought competition. Before tulikuwa group of school, because ilikuwa Dandora 1 primary school, Dandora 2 primary school, Dandora 3. So there was like a village within. Sahi utakuta ka academy within Dando. So it brings a certain education and technology. So within that area unakuta these kids are different from this. The way we are reasoning. So you find even by the time you're going to secondary school, there is a lot of crashes of culture within the kids. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of you get. Yeah. So I think these things are there, but I think it's the high time to come back. Yeah. The high time even to come back to, because the education system, it's a key information of today's parenting. Parents cannot do alone.
Of course.
It's a collective issue.
Yeah.
And then school cannot do alone. So how are we bringing this collective angle? Yeah. How are we bringing now your show? It's not playing the part of telling people we must do this. Yeah. So I think now a lot of stakeholders need to come on board for us to nurture the next generation. Yeah. If you don't do like that, it becomes hard. Kitambo, it was very hard to see a boy and a boy. Even it was not hard. You could not hear such. A girl and a girl, even in relationship. In fact, even if you think about those words, they are not even in any mother tongue. It was you could not even try. So this technology imefika pahali na ni mzuri bado that it is a swag. It is normal. Nakumbuka nikiwa form 2 ndio hii generation ilikuwa na changanikiwa nikafika form 2 nikatoboa masikio. And it was like hadi sasa. Na ilikuwa tu fun. Pia influence ya seko. Yeah. But it's such a moment is like it's not acceptable. But sasa ishatoboka. Yezi rudi and I had to go back to the line. Yeah. So there were some things that hata zinaku provoke tu wewe mwenyewe. unajikuta tu lazima urudi kwa line.
That's true. Now, we're going to be getting much deeper into technology because, I mean, it is what it is right now and it's really shaping our society at the moment. But even before we get into that, there's something you had talked about, the fact that back in the day, a child was for the community. Like mtoto alikuwa ni wa jamii nzima. But right now, you even question somebody's child when you see them doing something that, when they are on the wrong, then you'll have to deal with the parents.
Pay.
Yeah, you'll have to answer, why are you questioning my child? As who? Do you think we can be able to get back to that point where a child was the responsibility of the entire society? Are we ever going to get back to that?
It's possible.
How are we?
It's true.
Yeah,
I think it's possible, but it may take a different appearance, a different form, because that is what school does for us, the community created in school. Then I am of the opinion that we can also create as parents a community for our children through the people we interact with, our friends, our associates, you know. We gather people of like mind, because the idea is to have the same script. The same correct script, not just a script, but having the same correct script repeated in school, repeated among our friends, repeated at home, and you will have a result. But if we have so many clashing scripts, that's where we have the struggle. Mtoto ametoka nyumbani kwangu. I have taught them this is the right thing to do. They meet in school, and school is a major element because children spend all their life in school. Growing and maturing in school. It's so many years.
In fact, more time it is in school than with parents.
Than at home. Yeah. So school is a socializing agent that cannot be ignored. So we have to be, parents have to be very intentional. Which school am I taking my child to? What does that school uphold? So that school supports the script I have at home. And that is possible. But then we also have the institution of church. And church, again, is a critical institution because every week, if at all we are maintaining what we were taught by our parents, children go to church every single week. And church has its lessons, it has its classes like Sunday school, all the way from children all the way to adults. There are all sorts of programs. If you would allow your child to engage in the programs that have been very specifically prepared for the children, age appropriate, then we can actually get back what we had initially.
All right.
Yeah.
Remember, you can also get to be part and parcel of this conversation. We have our WhatsApp line that you can send your messages via. That is 0716 103 301. 0716 103 301. Get to talk to us. Tell us, what are we doing differently? What can we do differently? Or do you feel like raising the next generation is a hard task now? What challenges are we facing in raising the next generation? Just get into the conversation and let us get to hear from you. Can we be able to go back to that communal setup whereby the child is for the entire community? We would love to hear from you. Now, speaking of technology, you know that we've definitely already gotten to mention in this conversation, and we can't run away from it. Where do we get to draw the line when it comes to technology, having in mind that that digital literacy is very important right now? We can't escape it. You can't say my child is not going to be, you know, with using gadgets and whatnot, because that digital literacy right now is the way to go. It is the now, and it is also the future. So how do we draw that line?
I think, as you were saying something, and look, comparing with the digital literacy, we need to reach somewhere that even the church, kuna Sunday school, kuna everything. Lakini wale watu hii, ule na wape ile Sunday school, ni mtu wa 1941. Hata wagite anything. We need to face to hit the nail on the head. We had some seminars we have in Kahawa West, the Catholic Church, and we are trying to look, even as the people organizing, we are trying to look, which speaker do we bring that can fit in this generation?
Yeah.
Not a master because I'm a priest I can fit there. Not because I'm a pastor I can fit there. Sometimes unaweza jiongelesha, you'll talk to them, they will hear nothing, and even that nothing, they will not hear it well. So it have reached a moment of us identifying talent within, temperament within the people also talking to our kids. You'll find there's a time we had a workshop somewhere and somebody was speaking smartly. I was the next speaker. And the way this guy was speaking, it was for the boys, his boy child. And I could even take notes because I could see the content. But when I looked at the guys, the young boys and everything, wengine wako na wood, na wako na headphone, hawako hapo. So I looked about, I don't point finger to this mzee.
Yeah.
I became friend to this mzee to tap that knowledge because he's an old mzee. And was a professor. I tap the knowledge, I inculcate the knowledge and translate it to the language the youth understand. In fact, that's a concept of technology. I can be in a position to get that knowledge, develop some clips and everything, develop some verbal and non-verbal tools so that this young person, we can also enter to the same social media issues and start talking, start parenting differently. So I think, to me, and I speak to many schools, parents, and I love talking to the parents, what is our role? What are we doing? I speak to the pastors and priests, what method are we doing? Or are we applying to this? How are we identifying talents of people that can speak to our people? Not based on because I'm a PhD, no.
Yeah.
When you look about talent, I can have PhD, but I'm not, like in school, you could find a teacher, very smart, papers are smart, but akiwafunza, au get, na kuna mwalimu mwingine, akiwafunza huwezi sahau. So if we can try to identify those talents, because kuna wazazi wako na hizo matalent, kuna mapastors, kuna, mapasi wako na hizo matalent. Ikiwa mimi kwa church yangu, yes, I'm so much on university.
Yeah.
But am I much on the church? You get? So I better call that person, identifying talent, na nimulete kwa church yangu because najua kuna pahali ata make impact. So what is happening? What is going wrong in competition within ourselves? I must be seen. No, identify each other talent. Ni identify mazeni kiita Vivian hapa hivi. Kusema tu hivi asemeeni presenter. All these kids want to be next to you.
Yeah.
Mimi na miaka yangu 90 years, hakuna kitu inanibamba na. So how we can link the technology, one, is to get into the same technology and to get the methodology, those who are doing mentorship.
Okay.
To realize now, I need to get to this field. I need to understand this field. Two, if I'm going somewhere to talk to the young people, also use some machinery young people are using. How do I use that PowerPoint? How do I use some clips? How do I use... We can get into that. If I remain nile tu kubonga pale hivyo, sometimes they don't get anything. Or sometimes they get.
Yeah.
And sometimes even tunaekelea Holy Spirit. At Holy Spirit anainterpret. No, also God give us wisdom. Proverbs 24:13, wisdom to realize, am I reaching them or not? So I think, I wish those who are in mentorship get into this technology.
Okay.
As they hit these things, you're also hitting it.
Yeah.
Because you can't just keep quiet like there and say they will come. Sometimes they're not even coming.
That's true.
Sometimes wanakuja hata church, wanapiga tu stories zao.
Yeah.
Alafu service imeenda, unasema vijana wanabaki. Wakibaki ni story yao. But hata wakibaki, for us to bring technology, how are you trying to inculcate in their language? How also, Vivian, do we get even a young person who have realized talented and everything and bring in this angle of mentorship so that we can have what we call peer-to-peer approach? Because peer-to-peer approach reach more than us.
That's true.
So we also need to identify young people who are talented and this, mentor them. Then the same young people will go and now translate.
And mentor the others.
And I'm telling you with that one, we're going to reach somewhere.
Okay.
It will not be equivalent the same, but different way, but somewhere parenting will.
I would also love to get your perspective on the same, you know, from an educator's point of view.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I would take another approach, whereas I agree with what he's saying. You know, a child is not born and ends up in school tomorrow. So for me, the question is foundational. In fact, there's a saying that the Catholics say, give me a child, and by the time they are age 7, I'll give back to you a Catholic. So the foundational years of a child are critical. And those are the years we are saying, parents, where are you? where are you? Because beyond age 7, it has been proven, actually, the child has been molded and formed.
That's true.
So if we can work more with the child at the foundational years, during the foundational years, what are we teaching them? You know, one common thing that's happening today is that people are using phones as pacifiers for the children. The child cries in church or even at home. What are they given?
Shika simu.
Yeah. And you know, the phone, that device, is a teacher, and it also opens a whole wide world to the child. And you know, the people who have made this equipment, you click the wrong button and it brings a whole... So our children are being exposed to information that is not checked. And like we've said, I repeat again, age appropriate.
Yeah.
So you've put this phone on the baby's hand, in the baby's hand, had you shut down all the others, you know? And then the child grows from, I don't know whether it's age 1. If you take the phone from them, you get a call, the child cries, throws tantrums, hits their heads on the ground. So some parents are actually buying a phone for a child and that is a smartphone. So they can play the games, and you don't know what else is coming with the games. The adverts that just shoot up, you know? So the minute, for me the question is, at what age should we put this device in the hands of a child? And like we've said, the script is different. So your neighbor might be comfortable putting the phone in their hands very early, and the other devices, whether it's the tabs and access into just the media world. And that media world is not checked. There are things we can do, you know, like I know you can shut down certain things, but should we really, we need to ask that question, should we really put a phone in the hands of an infant?
But
Should
also,
we?
ni uzembe ya wazazi pia. Because hata TV 24/7. And I'm telling you, unaona hizo maprogram ziko, you're communicating. Like now, because if your child psychologically amezoea TV, and right now the way they are talking about whatever, the vowel that they are pronouncing is different. And then you're putting ako kwa television 24/7, ako kwa phone, you're even complicating the speech. Mwalimu amewafunza hivi. Unajua sio kama zetu, zimebadilika kabisa. So when they come now, kila anasikiza na whatever is putting, kwanza in that small age, it is complicating the speech of the child. And it is bringing a lot of difficulties.
And
so,
even, you know, just speaking about that, maybe I can throw in a fact. You know, when you said, yes, the educators have that responsibility, the teachers have that responsibility since they spend the most time with children in school. But before they go there, and even statistics show that a child's brain develops rapidly in the first 5 years,
Absolutely.
with 90% of brain growth occurring before the age